Hey, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of the Rock Experience with Mike Brunn. On this episode, I welcome legendary Kiss guitarist Ace Frehley. We're going to talk all about his newest album, 10,000 Volts, and so much more. Lots to cover. I think you guys are going to really enjoy this one. So let's jump in and let's get started. Excellent. Well, Ace, first I want to thank you for joining the show today. Welcome. And I want to start off by congratulating you on your newest upcoming solo album, 10,000 Volts. This is your sixth album in 15 years. I could probably say you're one of the hardest working classic rock artists that's out there right now. Why is it so important for you to keep releasing new music like this?
Why is
why is it so important for you to continue to release new music at the rate that you've been doing so?
because I have my own recording studio. I'm healthy, I'm happy, and I love making rock and roll. So why not continue to make records? Plus, I have a recording contract. That doesn't hurt.
That's great. Now, obviously, on this album, you're working with Steve Brown, Trickster, Tokyo Motor Fist, who opened up for you for a little bit. He's obviously been known to be a big Kiss fan for years. What's it like working with somebody who's a fan and certainly knows your body of work for so many years? Is it easier for you to work with a producer like that and a songwriter like that?
Me and Steve get along famously. From the first day he walked into my studio, we just hit it off. And when me and Steve get together, magic happens. We're on the same page. He grew up idolizing me, so he knows the style of music I like to perform and I like to write. And so he tries to write songs in the same vein. And it's, the record work, working with Steve on this album, it wasn't very hard. It was, we would do a song a day, sometimes.
Wow. Are there any songs that you guys wrote that you left off of the album?
Yeah.
Any chance that those could be maybe like B-sides or released in the future?
Anything's possible, You put your first, you put your best foot forward. We picked the best 11 songs, and I have tons of songs that I've recorded in the past that I've never put on records. When we were going through YouTube halfway through the album, and he saw the demo for Back Into My Arms Again. Yep. He goes, "What's this?" I go, it's a song I wrote 35, 40 years ago.
Did you remember it when you guys found it?
Do I what?
Did you remember it when he found it on YouTube? Did you remember that song?
Yeah. I always thought it was a good song. I just never got around to recording it on a record.
Sure.
And he thought we should take a shot at it, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out.
Yeah, no, that's been one of my favorite songs of yours, probably for 35, 40 years as well. Was there ever any talk of maybe re-recording some of those other songs from that time period, like audio, video, anything else from that time period you'd think about?
Maybe in the future. Once this album has pretty much gone its course, we're going to jump into the studio and start working on Origins Volume 3. And that's going to be fun to do because, the nice thing about doing those those records is the songs are already written, the lyrics
Sure.
are already written, and I just put my stamp on it for the most part, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Now, just speaking about Origins Volume 3 for one moment, obviously in the past, you've had Paul Stanley on one of your albums. You had Bruce Kulick on one. Any chance that you'd ever think of maybe getting Gene or Peter to do a song on Origins 3?
Maybe.
Okay,
Yeah, I live life one day at a time, you know. Who knows what's gonna happen?
sure. Now,
Uh,
go ahead.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I've had Slash, Lita Ford, John Five,
Yes, Cheap Trick. Yep. So,
Singer, Cheap Trick, you know,
absolutely. So now just talking
keep track
about,
of all the people I've worked with over the years, but you know, we're gonna try to get some bigger stars for this record, or stars as equally as popular as some of those stars I just named,
and those are
and
big names.
see how it works out.
Absolutely. Now, when talking about the new album that comes out on Friday, you've already released the title track. You've released Walking on the Moon. Cherry Medicine gets released tomorrow. But I want to talk about Walking on the Moon for a moment, right? So that video just seemed like you were having a lot of fun making that video. Was that fun for you, or was that just a lot of work?
It was fun. I mean, we we didn't put much thought behind what we were going to do. I just said, well, you know, the director, you know, we recorded it behind. There was a green screen behind us, so I just had a couple of different outfits. I dressed up a couple, two stepkids in alien outfits, and
Hmm.
we shot it.
Yep.
And yeah, I got him a couple of rubber guitars, inflatables, and they were great. And I thought the video was a lot of fun. It's not like the video we shot the last Friday, you know, Cherry Medicine. You know, that was a more of an elaborate shoot. We had 6 girls dressed up in black leather, and it was an all-day shoot.
Mm.
And you know, it was a lot of different setting up and lighting, and
Now
it
you
was a complicated shoot so far.
really okay. Now you mentioned them being dressed in black leather, which is obviously a reference to the lyric, right? So you said you have the lyric in the song, "You make me feel better when you're in your black leather." Clearly a reference back to Shock Me, right? So whose idea
Right.
was to do that?
I think it was mine,
Okay.
but I could be wrong. You know,
Okay.
I mean, you know, me and Steve used to just come up with ideas off the top of our heads. You know, I write lyrics really fast. Uh, and you know, a lot of times Steve will present a song, and I'll rewrite a lot of the lyrics, and do a guitar solo, lay down the vocals, and it's pretty much done except for bass and drums.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
we do it to a click track, and it was real effortless working with Steve, and he's a very talented studio engineer. So
Yep.
I didn't even have to pay for an engineer for this record. He's
Okay.
been engineering Pro Tools for over 30 years, so he's very talented and proficient, you know, on Pro Tools, and so that was a nice plus.
Absolutely. Now, one of the things I love about the song Cherry Medicine is it has a little bit more of a commercial or a pop feel. Now, I think when people think of you, they think of hard rock songs, Rip It Out, Shock Full of Rock, Strange Ways, but you've
Yeah.
also dabbled in some of this pop type stuff in the past. Right? So are you comfortable writing songs in that? Do you like I'll say, pop rock type songs?
I like pop rock. I think you know, if the lyrical content is appealing, and you know the chord changes are right, you know, and it has a good hook to it, you know, I have no problem doing pop rock.
Hmm.
You know, I've done it in the past, and you know, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, is rock and roll night pop rock? I don't know.
Probably not to most people, but I think of songs like Two Sides of the Coin, and even some of your more recent stuff, like You Give Me a Feeling, has like a little bit more of a commercial feel to it. And that's what I like about this song too. It has that like commercial feel to it, which but it's catchy.
Yeah. I mean, I redid a song by a gal named Nadia.
Yep.
Uh, and I heard the song for the first time 23 years ago when I was watching the movie The Transporter with Jason Statham. And it was going over the credits after the movie was over. And it caught my ear. You
Hmm.
know, a good song is a good song.
Agreed.
I wasn't particularly happy with the production because it was like Euro rock with, keyboards and a drum machine. And, I like a wall of sound
Sure.
and guitar solos, this, that. And so we recorded it a lot heavier than Nadia did, but I'm really happy with the end result. I started off with a guitar solo. She started it off with just the vocal.
Right.
And but
Right.
I just kind of go with what my gut tells me.
Sure. Now, another song on the record is Blinded, right? Which you sing and you talk about the dangers of AI. So you've been a computer guy for decades, right? I remember that even in the 80s, you were one of the first ones I knew that was really like embracing that technology. What worries you about AI?
I grew up with computers. I mean,
Yep.
I had the first Mac, I had the first IBM. I mean, and I used to promote Zenith laptops.
Yep.
When I met a guy at Heathkit, a friend of mine introduced me to him. He goes, "Why don't you promote the new Zenith laptop? I'll give you $100,000 and $100,000 worth of equipment." I said, "Sure." And I mean, at the time, Zenith had the best laptop out on the market, even better than Apple, or they had the best screen.
Okay.
And of course, eventually Apple surpassed them. But the reason I went to Apple and got away from PCs is because I think the operating system on an Apple, is a lot easier, and you get more bang for the buck. Although it's changed a lot over the years. When in the 80s, I used to change processors and overclock the CPUs, and when I was doing renderings and stuff, and now everything's locked up. It's not like it used to be.
No,
You
that's
can't really hot rod computers anymore.
right. That's for sure. So, but does AI, I guess, worry you and where we're going with that?
Well, Steve came down one day and I said, "Look, all these songs are about girls. We got to write a song about something with a little more serious content." And I've been reading articles about artificial intelligence and the dangers of it. I know there was a conference several months ago where a lot of CEOs and scientists had a meeting and they said, 5 to 10 years, there's a good chance at the rate we're going with artificial intelligence, if it becomes self-aware, just like in the Terminator movies, going to be dead meat. So,
Right. Uh,
knows.
right. Well, so I was curious though when I heard that you were writing about this. Did you see or hear, I'll say, the quote unquote new Beatles song that Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr did from a John Lennon demo and cleaning it up using AI? And what were your thoughts of that?
I haven't heard that song, but
Oh,
I heard it was a good record.
yep,
Uh, I just kind of, you know,
yep. So
I'm,
if
I'm
some,
like a fly by the seat of his pants kind of guy.
there you go. So
I wake up, I have an idea, I'm in the middle of editing, the Cherry Medicine video, and when I'm at that point in the morning when you're half asleep and half awake,
yep.
I get some of my best ideas, and I said, yeah, well, I think we should insert this part here. And, yeah, there's some graphics that are like James Bond,
Sure.
like, and it's a great song.
Yeah,
And I'm real happy with the way the video's turning out. By the end of the day, we're going to have it finished.
that's
I was
awesome.
just making last minute, details and
Right.
adjustments on it.
Awesome. Now, with the record, there's, I'll say, over a dozen variants, whether it's different covers, different vinyl colors. First, are you a vinyl guy? And then second, how much input do you have in all those different variants? Because some fans love it, and some fans think, my God, how many more do I have to collect to have the whole thing?
Well, vinyl tape sounds better.
Yeah.
I just bought a new turntable I have sitting here to my right. And, I got the first test pressing, and Steve was here, and we played it, and it just sounded amazing. I have great speakers here, and nothing sounds like vinyl. And unfortunately, it's you can't carry around a fucking turntable, speakers, and all that crap. But
Yep.
when I'm at home, I prefer listening to vinyl.
Of course. Absolutely. Now, do you have a say when they put out all these different variants of your album? Do you have a say, or is that strictly driven by the label?
Well, I get approval on everything
Okay.
that's put out. So, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Now, I can't believe this, that it's been probably 10 years or close to 10 years since the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony, right? And I was there that night. Do you think that's the last time you, Peter, Paul, and Gene will be in the same room together?
I have no idea. Yeah, I mean, we're all deep down inside. We're all still friends. We all love each other. We're brothers in rock and roll. Sure, we have our spats, and, we call each other's names, and, yeah, but it's like we've known each other since 73. I mean, we just celebrated 50 years
Yep.
as a band, even though I was in and out of the band twice. Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm real proud of all my achievements with Kiss, and all the guitar solos I wrote kind of tell a story. And Tommy's been playing my solos for the last 20 years. Yeah, it would be nice if he came up with something original himself, but he was told by Paul and Gene to play my stuff. So
Sure. Sure.
that's what it is. I don't
Absolutely.
hear that anymore.
Right. That's true. Now, you mentioned how you've been in and out of Kiss a couple of times. The last time you left was around 2001, 2002. Since that time, you've been sober now for 17 plus years, I think it is. Do you think it was necessary for you to leave Kiss in order to gain that sobriety? Or do you ever look back and say, damn, I wish I stayed back in the early 2000s?
A lot easier being sober away from those guys. They know how to push my buttons, and we don't always see eye to eye and everything. But once Peter left the band, Paul and Gene always overrode my point of view. Because when Peter was in the band, it was a democratic group, and I didn't even realize it. But when Peter left, I realized I had lost all my power in the band, because pretty much Paul and Gene are workaholics and like to do things their way. So if I don't like the way something is happening, I get outvoted. I was dead set against the Elder. I didn't think it was the right album for the right time.
Sure.
It's not a bad record. I don't think our fans were expecting a record like that.
No, that's for sure.
And I kept telling them during the recording process, I said, I think it's a big mistake. Of course it bombed. So,
Yep. Yep.
because, I'm the kind of guy that has this feeling, I'm a street kid, and I kind of, I have a sense of what kids want to hear.
Sure. Sure.
And that's why I think this new album is going to be successful.
Absolutely. Now, you talked about losing your power when Peter left the band, but I have to say, Ace, I thought some of the best Kiss shows that you were ever a part of was those shows in early 2001 with you, Paul Jean, and Eric Singer on the drums. No disrespect to Peter Criss, who I love dearly, right? But those were just some amazing shows that you guys did in Tokyo. Do you remember those shows? And what was that? Do you feel good on those shows?
Yeah. I mean, Eric was a great drummer. Both Erics were great
Yep,
drummers. Eric Singh is a really good drummer.
absolutely.
I really enjoyed playing with Eric. I
Yep.
think the last time I played with him was at a just one of those
Conventions.
those Comic Cons or
Yep.
whatever. I
Yep.
was signing autographs and then we jammed. We played Shock Me together, and when there was another guy playing drums, and then when Eric got on drums, it was like, whoa,
Right.
what it was night and day.
I'm
So, I
surprised you've never had him join you for a song on one of your Origins albums.
I actually have a track that me and Eric recorded, a blues track.
Hmm.
I have it in the can. I just haven't put it out yet. But I have 200 reels of 2-inch tape, and I don't even know what's on half of it. So once things slow down, I'm gonna bake the tapes and transfer them to hard drive, and give them a listen, and I could probably put out a record on the lost tapes of Ace Frehley.
Yeah, I was wondering if, I mean, obviously you supported Gene on his vault thing, and you talk about all these demos, and it's going through my mind. Would you ever put out a box set or a vault or something like that? Because you must have, it sounds like you have a lot of music that you've never released.
I think yeah, eventually I'm gonna put out a box set of Ace's greatest hits and lost songs here and there, maybe like a double LP or a double CD.
Okay.
And it's gonna everything, will come in time. Right now I'm focusing on this record. I just got a new agent, a lot of shows are coming in. I'm doing a cruise March 2nd to
Hmm.
March 7th, going to the Bahamas. And I'm just having fun.
Sure. Do you enjoy doing those cruises?
They're okay.
Okay.
They pay well.
There you go. That's good. So you mentioned
I'm
having,
headlining it with the Darkness and Joe Satriani, and it should be fun. I only have to do two concerts.
okay, and then you get to relax probably for a bit during the rest of the time.
I don't know. I think that I have to do a photo op with some fans, and
Okay.
I don't know, maybe a Q&A. You know how those things go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you mentioned having more shows coming up. I know you've added 10,000 volts, the song, into the set list. Any other new songs that your fans could expect to be put into the set list from the new album?
Well, I decided to add a couple of Kiss songs, since Kiss retired.
Mhm.
I think, the fans are yearning to hear some other Kiss songs that I haven't performed live. So we added Rock and Roll Night and Shout It Out Loud.
Okay.
And, we mixed the set around. I started off with Shock Me
Yeah.
this time, a couple of weeks ago, and we hit the road. We did 3 shows in a row.
Okay.
And it was a lot of fun. We ended with Rock and Roll Night. Everybody went crazy. So, you know,
It's a good position for you to be in. Obviously, you want to add those classic Kiss songs, but at the same time, there's fans like me that are like, man, I wish you would do songs like Into the Night, Insane, Sister, Space Invader. I mean, you've got a lot of solo material also. Do you ever think about putting some of those types of songs back in your set list?
it's just too many songs. Yeah, think about all the albums and songs I've written. It's just, I'd have to play for 10 hours. So, I mean,
Maybe what you need to do,
some
Ace.
down the road, maybe do a special tour with some celebrities along with me.
Hmm.
You know,
I
and
remember your shows in the 90s. You used to do a lot of medleys of songs, like minute, minute and a half of each
yeah,
song.
I'd like. I think we might maybe put a medley together in this summer because there's just so many songs that the kids want to hear. So you know,
Absolutely.
maybe I could put 3 or 4 Ace songs together in a medley. I've done it in the past.
Yeah.
I'll do it in the future, and
Yeah. To me, those were always fun when you did those in your shows.
the whole thing for me is having fun.
Yeah.
You know, people say to me, "Why did you quit Kiss?" I go, "Well, I wasn't having fun anymore."
Mm.
And then the second time, people said, "Why'd you quit Kiss?" The second time, I go, "Well, I wasn't having fun anymore."
Okay.
I'm having fun now, and pretty much when I'm not having fun anymore, I'll either get a new band or I'll retire. I don't know.
So speaking of getting a new band, I mean, you did bring in your old drummer, Scott, kind of came back last year.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So what made you decide to replace Matt Starr, who had been with you for a while, and bring Scott
Well,
back?
I had let Scott go because he was drinking too much,
Mm.
and as you know, I don't allow alcohol backstage and
Right.
stuff. And he was drinking it in a cup on the stage and in the dressing room, and I just said, yeah, I gotta let you go, Scotty. But
Hmm.
we never we still kept in touch. We're still great friends, and then I had an issue with my drummer, Matt Starr,
Mm.
which I'd rather not get into why, but
Okay.
ended up letting him go, and I found out that Scotty was sober for a couple of years, pretty much. So I hired back Scotty, and it's been a lot of fun because I started working with Scotty in 2007.
Hmm.
And
Sure.
we're really, besides being compatible, good musicians, he's really fun to be around, and we're good friends.
Sure. Awesome. Awesome. And what was it like for you? You reconnected with John Regan a few times. You performed with him the last few years before his unfortunate passing. Was it nice reconnecting with him again?
Yeah, it was great to see John. I mean, was an amazing bass player.
Hmm.
And it was, he was taken, too young.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've never heard of anybody dying of low blood pressure.
Mm.
Uh, maybe I was thinking maybe he had really high blood pressure and took a pill, and then maybe like forgot he took it.
Mm.
Because I have to take blood pressure medication sometimes, and if you take an extra one, your blood pressure will drop too low. You know,
Mm.
But there's ways of raising it if that happens. So, but maybe he just fell asleep and
Mm.
didn't wake up. Very unfortunate. I was at the funeral,
Yeah,
and it was sad. But
absolutely.
funny story.
Yeah.
The priest who gave the speech, gave the little service,
Yep.
he came up to me after the service, and half the people had left the funeral parlor, and he said to me, me and John were very, very close. I said, yeah, I've heard that. He goes, one night he taught me how to play cold gin. The priest plays guitar.
Hmm.
So I got a kick out of that.
Wow.
Pretty funny.
That's very funny. Now, I guess then in happier or lighter news discussion, recently you've had these really funny videos on social media, food shopping and doing things like that. Do you have thoughts of, hey, I'd love to do a reality TV show one day like Gene did, like Ozzy did, or is it just,
People are, well, me and my fiance are getting offers, but
hmm,
there's no way I can do a TV show and tour and promote this new record at the
okay,
same time. So maybe who knows? A couple of years down the road when I want to slow things down,
right.
We could do something silly. I don't know.
Sure.
I mean,
Sure.
I'm a funny guy. She's pretty funny too.
Yep.
I get
Absolutely.
her going, you know. Yeah,
uh,
first couple of times I was with her, I had her on the road. I took her to Dallas. You know, we just got on a plane and we couldn't stop laughing the whole fucking ride.
well, your laugh is contagious.
Yeah.
Oh
You know,
man.
when I get her funny bone going, you know,
There you go.
forget about it.
That's very funny. Let me ask you this. Not many rock artists have been in such huge bands the way you were in Kiss, and then have such a huge and successful solo album like your 78 solo album, right? It's so well thought of. Having a solo album like that, that's so well thought of by the fans, does it put pressure on you whenever you're releasing a new album that you like 10,000 volts has to live up to that?
No, I
Good.
just do the best album I can. And hopefully, you know, people will accept it and love it, you know.
Absolutely.
But you know, like my 7 to 8 solo album is kind of the benchmark for me because it was my first solo record, and you know, it still holds up today.
Yep.
You know, 40 years later. But I think this record may have a shot at, you know, equaling or even surpassing the 78 record because there's just so many good songs on it.
Those are big words. Big words. If it comes
Yeah.
close, I think fans will be happy.
Well, I'm a gambler.
There you go. You mentioned before that Kiss obviously just finished their farewell tour. Any thoughts for you ever doing like your own solo farewell tour? Are you going to do this until you can't do it anymore?
Say that again.
I know Kiss just did a farewell tour. Do you ever think of doing a solo farewell tour for yourself? Or do you say, no, I'm going to do this forever?
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel pretty good. You know, I got a clean bill of health.
Yep.
You know, once my health starts to fail, maybe I would consider doing something like that. But you know, I'm good for another 3, 4, 5 years, I think.
Awesome. That's great news.
I
Great
hope,
news.
knock on wood.
Let's all hope, right? Let's all hope. I know in 2018, you and Gene did a co-headlining tour in Australia. I don't know if you heard Gene's doing some solo shows this year. Would you ever consider doing something like that in the States?
I don't know if I don't, you know, I'm going to be so busy with my band. I don't know if I'd be able to.
Yep.
Yeah, I toured with Gene in Australia. You know, I helped promote his vault experience. I
Yep.
called it the silly safe.
Yeah.
I came up with that one day without even thinking about it. Somebody said they couldn't even think of the name of the vault thing. And I go, oh, you mean that silly safe that Gene had?
That's great. That's
Yeah, things just pop into my head. You know, like when I was on the Tom Snyder show, that
uh-huh.
thing, that wasn't planned.
I think that
Uh,
was the best half hour of TV I've ever seen in my life.
you know, I'm kind of just a natural comedian. You know,
Yep.
there was a part of me that always wanted to be a comedian. You
That's why
know,
you need your own show.
when I used to drink, you know, I could rattle off 50 jokes in
Yep.
a row. I could get up and do a monologue anytime, anywhere, any
Mhm.
place. Yeah, but I was too busy playing rock and roll. But
Of course, yeah.
who the hell knows? You know, maybe 5 years from now, I might go to Vegas and do a comedy show. Who the hell
Yeah.
knows?
Or at least you have to do that reality TV
I
show.
don't put any limitations on me. You know, God gave me a lot of gifts, and you know, as long as I can function and I'm healthy, you know, I think it's a sin not to use them. So,
Absolutely. One or two more questions, Ace. Any word on your book? I think you were writing a follow-up to No Regrets. Any word on that?
well, you know, I got a box filled with papers and napkins. I jotted down stories that I remembered, you know, and eventually it'll come out. Probably 2025.
Okay. Very
I
good.
have to get a couple of chapters solidified and give them to Simon and Schuster, my publisher,
Yep.
and then they'll give me an advance, and that'll give me the incentive to
Right.
finish it.
Awesome. obviously Kiss did these Avatar things at the end of their final show. If they came to you and gave you a nice payday, would you let them make an avatar of yourself?
I think they already are.
Well, I think they had Tommy dressed up in the spaceman makeup.
Yeah, but I mean, they're using my makeup.
True.
I license it to them, for perpetuity. So, they can use it, as long as they pay me.
Okay. And you still get paid from that, you're saying? Because I've read
Yeah.
different things online that says you do, you don't. So you say you still get paid from that?
I've been getting checks from Kiss since I left.
Okay. Awesome. Well, the album drops at the end of this week. I know you have an in-store in New York City this weekend. More tour dates, I'm sure, to be announced.
Oh, Sam Ass is going to be crazy.
I heard they've sold 1,000 copies of the album in advance for you to sign.
Yeah, I mean, I know pre-sales and pre-orders are through the roof. Spotify's had over 1 million downloads, over 1 million, YouTube views, over 5,000 comments. I was looking at like Taylor Swift. She'll have like 3 or 4 million views, but maybe 2,500 comments. I can't believe I got over 5,000 comments. I don't know what the hell is a big deal.
And I have to say, you mentioned Taylor Swift. It just triggered in my mind. What was it, like 15 years ago, where she dressed up as you to prank somebody at a concert? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, when she jumped up on stage with Keith Urban.
Keith Urban, yeah, exactly. So
I was very flattered that she picked me out of all the 4 guys. Maybe she's a fan. I don't know. I gotta give her a call.
I think you should. Maybe the two of you could do a duet together.
I'd love to. She's a very talented woman.
Absolutely. Well, Ace, like I said, the album comes out the end of this week. Clearly you're not going to sell 1 million albums the way you did in the 70s, right? But it sounds like
nobody's doing that anymore.
Exactly. But it sounds like based on the views and the clicks and the comments already, it seems like it's going to be a success. I wish you a lot of luck with the record, a lot of luck with the tour, and we hope to see you on the road.
Thank you so much. Thank me for having me on the show. And I want to thank my fans for all the support over the years. And I'll see everybody on the road. Rock and roll.
Awesome. All righty. There you have it. I'd like to thank Ace for joining me, talking all about his newest album, 10,000 Volts. Thanks so much, Ace. I know the fans are really looking forward to it. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button below. If you're listening to one of my podcasts, subscribe over there as well. Also, head on over to Facebook and follow my page, The Rock Experience with Mike Brunn, where each and every day we talk about all the rock and roll music that you love. You could also follow me on Instagram and Twitter as well. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you all next time.